Once, two beggars, a Jew and a German Gentile, traveled together close to Pesach. Arriving in a small town and looking for a seder and a meal, the Jew had a plan. He told the German to pretend he was a Jew, which he could do since their language is very similar, Yiddish and German. And the Jew would have pity on him. Since Pesach was approaching, the Jew taught him how to behave at a seder. He outlined the stages of the seder, how Kiddush is made, and that you wash your hands twice, and that you read the Haggadah and we tell over the story, and that there's matzah and shulchan aruch, a massive feast. However, this Jewish beggar, he forgot to tell the German Gentile about maror. He forgot to tell him about the bitter herb. On Pesach night, they went to shul, and they were invited to different homes. The Yid went to one home, the German Gentile went to another, and the German was very hungry, so he really was looking forward to this massive feast that the Yid had piped up and praised that this was going to be a meal to remember. However, first they gave the German a piece of celery, and he dipped it in salt water, and other things were served at the table, and they did Kiddush, and they told over the story of Pesach. And he was sitting there just longing. He really wanted this meal. He was starving. And just as we thought, okay, here we go, we're about to eat, they gave the German a piece of horseradish. Not knowing what this was, he took a bite into it, and his face was on fire. His mouth was flamed, and it was so bitter. And he thought, oh great, this is the entire meal. What is this? And he was so angry and beyond furious with what he had just experienced, like cuisine from these people, and he bolted from the table, bitter and hungry and frustrated, saying to himself, cursed Jews, after all that ceremony, this is what you served me. So he went to the synagogue, and this is where he agreed with his friend that this is where they were going to meet up after Seder. A few hours later, the Jew arrives, he's happy, and he's dancing, and his stomach is full. So he asked the German, tell me, what happened? Why are you so angry? The German told him exactly what had happened, that he sat through this entire Seder and the whole process, and just as they were about to start the meal, the only thing that he gets served is this bitter herb, and he was so frustrated that he bolted and left. And the Jew looks at him and says, you stupid man. If you had waited just a little bit longer, you would have had the most lavish meal you've had in your entire life, just had you waited. And I think this is the whole point. Bitterness is sometimes just the beginning. We think maror is the whole thing. We feel the sting, we feel the discomfort, the challenge, and we panic, and then we're like, that's it, we bolt, we run, we've had enough. But if we just wait that little bit longer, if we stay with it, if we stick with it, if we realize that we've put in all this work, and we keep putting in the work, and we put in the effort, then that bitterness is the very thing that purifies us. It creates the space for the greatest joy, the joy of closeness with Hashem, Kirvas Elokim. We can reach that state of devekos and arrive at that goal that we have been putting in all the effort to reach. So if we just hold steady, if we just wait a little bit longer, we discover. And then this bitterness, we realize, was hiding this beauty and this glorious feast.